behind the scenes for Cantrips Media, right? Right now it's about a week from Tekko. We have to be there next Thursday. It's the Friday before. I'm taking my stuff to a convention. And I just thought I would like share a little of the craziness that is happening here in the studio, in the workshop as it is. In the videos I had before, it was pretty, well set up and all that. But right now, it's a freaking mess. Over here, we're putting together new notebooks, some of which will be listed by the time that this video comes out, because who knows when I'll edit it. With the new Pathfinder stuff, so this is our player's Pathfinder notebook cover. I made a Luminterra one. This one is for Illuminated Worlds, so Candela Obscura. This one is pretty. This is like my favorite one. This is a Pathfinder GM notebook. And then I have another one that I'm actually printing right now, although it looks like it's done. Finally, it's taken all day. But I'm printing these here instead of buying in bulk, since I don't know if they will sell. But I have a farmer's almanac for the digital harvest for like farming sim video games. That notebook is coming out and I wanted to bring that to Tekko. And then we have this. This is a practice setup that we're putting together. We were trying a different layout because, again, I'm sharing my booth. I got 2 tables. So I'm sharing my booth with my sister's business, and we were trying to figure out, like, the layout I have is, and I used before, which I'll put a picture on here maybe. It works great for just me, but I don't want to like overshadow her, and plus we're on like an end cap, which is crazy. I don't know why they gave it to me, but I do know the people who run. I used to volunteer for Tekko, and I did a lot of the marketing stuff for them. I think that's why they probably gave me the end cap, which I am so grateful for, because I feel like we will sell so much. But yeah, so this is just a little sneak peek, right? We still have to keep all of these guys stocked, which they're not, so we have to do that still. Most of them are okay, but we need to like fully stock. And then over here, which you'll have to ignore baby crying or squealing in the back. She thinks I'm talking to her. She's really watching me. But all these bins down here, those are the journals we're taking there. So, we got a lot of crap going on. It'll also be like the first weekend I'll be like babyless, which will be a whole new experience for me now that I like have been stuck like glue to my baby, and she's even in here right now. Hello, baby. But I wanted to kind of show the behind the scenes before we get to Tekko, and then when we get to Tekko, I'll do a little like setup video or whatever else. Whatever. I don't know. Guys, I just wing it. I don't know if you noticed this. She knows. I'm sure there's going to be tons of background noise because this is much louder than I'm filming in my basement, surprisingly. I don't know if you guys realize, it's freaking August already. Like, where did the whole year go? What happened to me making videos every 2 weeks? But this is a video recap on my time at Tekko. This is not even scripted, there's nothing. Well, I didn't even log in. Who knows what the heck will come out of my mouth, and it'll be more like spitballing. But, so last year, and for about 3 or 4 years prior to that, before COVID and everything, I actually volunteered for Tekko, and I did their social media for a long time. So it was all volunteer work, and when I got pregnant, I had already decided that would be the last year that I was helping Tekko, because I was like, I'm not gonna have free time, and it takes up a lot of time to do marketing and social media correctly, which is also why our social media suck. All that aside, I ended up helping them raise money last year for their fundraiser. So some background information to Tekko's in Pittsburgh, PA. It also is an anime convention, which everybody's like, oh, there's a lot of overlap between anime and, gaming and tabletop games. People are technically going to an anime convention with the thought of getting anime related supplies, not necessarily like tabletop stuff. That said, I didn't do horrible or something. I did end up turning a profit. It was good, but it could have been better for me, I feel like. When it's all said and done, you know, counting the hotel room, the extra badges, and all of that, and like all the costs related to vending at Tekko, I did end up making about $500. Now this isn't all my orders, but I sold 111 notebooks. Now I also had other orders that were like stickers or washi tape or tokens or anything like that. That's not counted in that number, but I wouldn't say that I made more money based on the time and all of that while being there. I was more exhausted, surprisingly, even though I wasn't pregnant this time, because at PGX I was pregnant. At Tekko I wasn't pregnant, but I was tired because I did most of the work myself. At PGX I had my husband who also helped and my brother-in-law. At Tekko, my sister was running her table, and even though she also works for me, we were kind of stuck at our tables, and that was perfectly fine. I don't go to panels and stuff. As a vendor, it's super hard to do that kind of stuff when you're there, unless you have that additional help, and I really just didn't have that because, you know, hubby was at home with baby. I did get to meet like some super cool people, got to see some people who saw me at PGX and they were like, oh, last time I saw you, you were super pregnant. And I was like, yeah, and I was super tired and that still didn't go away. I got to see this guy who was right next to me at PGX, and he was there at Tekko just as an attendee, which was cool. I got to meet another really cool artist. Honestly, he did a lot of like sketches and stuff, but the stuff that I liked that was even better was like his hand-drawn like technical drawings of stuff that he made for his artificer, and I thought those were really cool. And honestly, I kind of regret not picking one up. So the other thing too with Tekko is my booth setup, and I freaking love my booth setup. I spent a lot of time on it. I was super excited when there was an artist across the way and her stuff was beautiful, and she was selling original art, which FYI, if you sell original art at like any kind of convention at all, I applaud you, because original art is so hard. This artist across the way was looking at my booth, and I had walked around and stopped at her stuff because again, her stuff was so cool. It had like gold foiling, which we all know I'm freaking in love with gold foiling. She was super sweet, and she said like she could tell that I was a designer based on my booth, and that just made me like super happy. Like there's a brand, you know, it has to fit my brand. I made these little tiny cutout D20s for pricing and things. I have all my notebooks laid out. I also do this thing where, and I'm sure if you saw me at Tekko, I'm sorry you got the spiel, but I do a spiel because my notebooks are so different than most people have. And I'm really not trying, like, yes, I'm trying. There's like a 10% part of me that's selling you on my product, okay? The rest of that is just, I'm excited that you're into D&D and you're even looking at my stuff. Like, let's talk about that. That other like 90% wants to explain why I made the journals the way I did. Also just show off how they work, because disc-bound journals are different. Like the best way to explain my notebooks is to literally tear them apart in front of you and then put them back together. And I just love people's reaction. This was the first time I had not one, not two, but 3 people approach me on like the first day of con on Friday that told me they had already purchased from me and have already had their own stuff, which, one, I'm sorry if I didn't remember you when you actually saw me face to face. I saw a lot of people, and I like, it's not that you're not memorable, it's that I have a horrible memory because I have mom brain. It was just so cool to me to have people like actually recognize my brand. It's weird to think that I'm impacting anybody's life, even though it's just like I've made a nice journal and you use it. Like there's so many other cooler ways to impact people's lives. The fact that I'm in, like, my brand is even in your head, to me is like crazy. Oh, like all of this stuff I'm doing is working. Like all of this stuff, all this effort I've been putting into my brand is actually turning into something. So that's cool. This is getting super long to tell you all about Tekko. But anyway, so if you have questions about being at a convention, maybe you're trying to go, or you just want to know more about like getting involved in that kind of stuff, let me know in the comments. I'm totally down to help anybody who's like trying to figure it out. I do have to say that like Googled most of my stuff, and I spent a lot of time prepping my display, because my display and my business cards, which if you've ever gotten a business card from me, if you've ordered in the last year, you got the D20 business card, was designed so that I could take it to cons and my card would be different. I was thinking, I go to conventions and I get business cards all the time, and then they just end up in my wallet and sit there for forever or in the trash. I didn't want my business card to be another thing in your trash. And it's funny because people are always like, oh, I don't want to take one because they cost money. Man, I made them specifically so you could take them. And yes, they do cost a little bit more than normal, like typical business cards, but it's really not that bad. People actually do show off my business card to other people at the con and then come back to me and are like, oh, you're the one with the cool business card. I am going to 2 more conventions this year. So I'm going to the Cleveland Gaming Expo, which I've never been to as an attendee, so, you know, which is faux pas. You should probably go as an attendee before you start vending, but I didn't. And then I'm going to PGX again, which is crazy because literally it's Cleveland one weekend and then PGX the next weekend. I've got a more regular schedule planned. Whether I follow the schedule, who freaking knows. But I'm hoping to actually release videos 1 every week. Hopefully. We are getting closer to holiday time already. It's freaking August. Because we're getting closer to holiday time, I know that around that time we get so busy that I just stop filming. So I'm sorry, but if you want to like keep in touch with me or other things, I will be doing a lot more with my Discord. I'm pretty much on Discord every single day. So if you want to talk to me or want to talk with anybody in the community or find games to play, like that's the way to do it. I also have live stream the last Saturday of every month, which will be my Run My One Shot stream, where if you have a one shot you want me to run, like submit it to me, preferably through Discord, but you can email it to me as well, and we'll actually run it on stream. So, is there anything else? Sorry, this was rambly. But I'm going to be recording another video right now, so I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.